This episode of Dana Being Dana is brought to you in part by Bling Things. Let's bling your wardrobe to life. And by What to Wear Collective, helping women make the most of every opportunity, showing up with confidence, knowing what to wear.
Hello and welcome to Dana Being Dana. That's me and I'm thrilled you're with us. My show is all about different aspects of the human connection, things that bring us together, and living life intentionally. It has been a year of hard times in our community, in our country, and in our world. While 2020 has brought on a world pandemic and a national outcry for justice, sometimes we have to laugh to keep from crying. Laughter is a connector, and it brings people together, even in hard times. Joining me now are two comedian friends of mine, Marz Timms and Ron Baker Jr., my return guests, who have made careers out of making people laugh. How y'all doing?
Woo! It's good to be back in the studio.
Yes, it's been good to be back. I feel like something's happening.
Yeah.
And don't adjust your TV sets. You're looking at two men with hats and glasses.
Yes. Two
Did y'all
different
plan
people.
that?
Two different people.
Yeah.
Did y'all coordinate that?
Yeah, we're going to Six Flags after this.
Yes. I'm with him.
Yeah, I'm with him.
You two are hilarious, and I am so glad that you all have joined me for this episode because I think it's so important to remember the levity, remember the laughter, even when times are rough. So you guys are comedians. So can you talk about how you got started in comedy? You were born funny.
I believe I was born funny, and I didn't discover my superpower until much later. And then I had to go somewhere to learn how to harness my superpower because I constantly, like all comedians, got kicked out of class, was at the principal's office. But my dad recognized my talent because he was an impressionist before he was a preacher. He did comedy more so through impressions, but he recognized I was funny, and he honed and harnessed my funny, and I call him the Joe Jackson of comedy. He made me, learn how to work a room, how to get my jokes right, how to hit a punchline. And once he became a pastor, he had me perform at his banquets, and that's how I started doing a lot of churches and got into the whole faith-based environment through them seeing me perform at his banquets. But even before that, I was doing talent shows. My brother and I, Ryan, were doing talent shows. We were a comedy team.
Nice.
And killing them with our blue blazers and our gray pants. We were kind of like the Smothers Brothers.
Matching outfits?
Yes, same time. That was the look, and we did impressions, and we were funny, and then from there it just kind of took off.
I was going to say y'all were like the two heartbeats.
The two heartbeats. The two.
Not the five.
No, not the five, just the
Some
two
addition.
heartbeats.
Right.
Some addition.
Right. Who became Eddie Kane?
Right. That's the important
Jokes
part.
like this. I wish.
Marz, what about you?
Unlike Ron, my parents tried to beat the comedy out of me for getting in trouble in school, being class clown or whatever. But in high school, I had this girl that I would torment every day. And senior year, she was like, if you weren't such a big jerk, you'd try to do some acting or something because you're kind of funny. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do your stupid acting. And I auditioned for a play and got a part, and that got the ball rolling from there. Started doing improv. Before that, I was writing my own sketch TV show, and then started doing improv, then got agents doing voiceovers and acting, and then Second City and stand-up, and here we are today in the middle of all this pandemic and stuff we got going on.
Yes. Ron, tell us a little bit about what you've done, because you've got an extensive career in comedy, too.
Yeah, I have been doing it a long time. I started in the early 80s, left to go to New York. And when I got to New York, very early on, I ran into somebody named Chris Rock and Adam Sandler.
Nice.
Had no idea. Right, had no idea. Matter of fact, let me tell you who introduced me to those guys. Lance Crowther.
Oh, Lance.
He played Pootie Tang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Side-eye-tay.
Yes, side-eye-tay, on the candy side. And he said, he met me and he saw me, he liked me, and he introduced me to, he said, let me introduce you to a friend. It was Chris Rock. And Chris had his jokes written in his hand, was reading off a sheet in a club. Many of the jokes that you even heard today, he was practicing those jokes early on, and he helped teach me the game. And then he introduced me to Adam Sandler, who was just as strange. He was real weird. With jokes. I was like, this dude will never make it. How many times have we said that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was he doing like all of his impersonations and stuff?
He
like
was
that?
weird. He was dating Brooke Shields at the time.
Wow.
This is how far back it was going. I'm a little kid in New York City, just trying to feel my way. And I'm running into, every week I would go to this club, and that's when they would have kind of like battles, competitions. And every week I got beat by somebody named Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh.
Funny.
I still have a little card. I didn't know who any of these people were. I remember going to the Improv, and I don't know if you remember, you would pick a number.
Yeah.
And if your number was called, you would go up.
You get to go up.
And,
what are you doing, like 3 minutes? 3 minute spots?
3 minute spots. And Jerry Seinfeld was in there. I didn't know who Jerry Seinfeld. This is pre the show. They were like, HBO was in the room, and I was like, what's an HBO? I didn't know, because we didn't have.
Is that something from outer space?
We didn't have home box. If anything, we had On TV. If you remember On TV.
I remember
with the
On TV, yeah.
With the knob.
Yeah, like click, click.
Yes, and then
My
when
grandma would be like, boy, leave that on TV
leave that
alone.
on TV. And you had the squiggly line.
Yeah.
The way that I heard Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip, because the sound would be clear, but the picture wouldn't. And when he had the red suit on, that's how I heard live on Sunset Strip on the On TV box sitting on top of the TV.
So let's talk about some of the recent things that have happened. What have we learned in recent weeks with respect to race relations and what's been happening in our world?
I have friends that I was cool with through multiple decades who now I look at in a completely different light because of how they view things. It's just like, you really don't understand what's going on, and the Kaepernick situation and the kneeling. It's just like, I thought we were cool,
That is very interesting.
And so, but I still have people that will they'll like certain posts I put out, and then other posts I will notice that they will be
decidedly
missing.
absent.
Yeah. So
I noticed yesterday when I was walking across the street. Usually, I feel like I got a jockey for my life, right? Like in Frogger. Remember the game Frogger?
You went back to the Atari days.
Yeah, back to the Atari days. But back,
joystick.
But people are willing to let you by. They were like, no, you go ahead.
Being extra nice.
Extra nice, because Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, as I was driving down the road, the lady put a sign in my window. She said, "You are loved."
Wow.
In your window.
White lady, yeah. She said, "You are loved." I said, "So can we hook up?" And she turned the sign around and said, "Yes."
I have noticed that too. I've got a lot of white girls in my DMs that are like, if you need anything,
I believe in you.
If no one's ever said it,
You're amazing.
Becky loves you.
I'm just like, what?
So let's go back to the pandemic in the beginning.
And can I say this too, as comedians? Comedians are funny all the time. Jokes are always in it. So I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what's going on. We can always find humor and funny. Now, it's not going to be funny to everybody.
Right.
Some people may be offended. I don't care if it's death or destruction. Part of our coping mechanism
is laughter.
Is humor.
Yeah. It's true.
We immediately look for the joke in the situation.
In the situation. There's no such thing as too soon.
No.
Timing is bad.
Yep.
You hit that joker right when it's happening. Now, everybody may like it.
You find the levity.
Because you want to get your jokes out there before everybody else starts doing it.
Right.
And then it's just like,
I was the first one to get that out.
I was doing that joke.
It's like a media person. I was the first one to break the story.
Right, yeah. I was doing jokes about face masks over in Thailand. Before everybody here started wearing face masks. I was like, man, I'm going to get back to the States. I'm going to throw a Nike logo on face masks. Everybody going to be wearing them. They're going to have colors to match all their different Jordans and everything. People are going to be walking through the hood like, got them face masks, who need one?
And after your quarantine, guess what happened?
Everybody
got face
masks.
Yep.
Everybody got
Have you seen the Louis Vuitton face masks that they got out?
I think he has one.
For real?
Yes.
Bam! Look, check it out.
I'm actually drawing a Gucci one.
You're drawing
right
one?
Now.
Handwritten? That looks nice.
Actually, I'm drawing a Gucci and then drawing the circle with the red line.
Comfort, support, filter?
Oh yeah, it's not breathable though. I smell Pepsodent in there.
He's actually suffocating, but he's fly though.
What do you got it going on?
Smell my breath all throughout that thing.
So let's talk about some of the changes. Well, you were in Thailand, right?
Yes, thanks for bringing up my quarantine.
Yeah.
When you got back after the quarantine. After I was able to go outside. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the changes that have happened since the pandemic hit, like Zoom calls. When we first met and we talked about this show, we were on a Zoom call. Mm-hmm. And so how has that been for you?
I can only take so many people on it. Once it becomes more than 2 or 3, I start having an epileptic seizure.
More than 2 or 3? Right? You said epileptic, right? You got it.
Elliptical.
You got it. An
elliptical
seizure.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's voices, and the green is moving to who's talking, and then it might switch to just 1 or just 2, and then next thing you know, I need a spoon in my mouth because I'm about to swallow my tongue. This is
silver spoon.
Right, silver spoon. Not that I have epilepsy. Now somebody's going to call and complain.
Right.
You know, the epilepsy ain't funny.
Yeah.
I have epilepsy, and I thought that Ron's joke was off color. And hold on. That's comedy.
Yeah.
That's comedy.
So let's talk about grocery shopping. And grocery shopping is something else that's been different since the
You
pandemic.
go first. I do have one.
Go ahead. No, go.
Oh, about grocery shopping?
Yeah.
I don't do it. I'd have
You do
everything
everything
delivered.
alone?
It's all delivered.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like it's become the nastiest place.
I don't feel like
On the
it's
face of the
nasty.
planet.
I feel like I'm in the city of Chicago. They have one-way lanes in the grocery store.
Yeah.
One-way go. So now I
you
have
feel
to
like
go
you're in
down
the
one
loop.
lane. I got to go down 2 aisles, come back down, go around, and go back up the one-way just to get a loaf of bread.
Right.
And then what I need, the jelly's the next aisle. Don't you back up. You got to go one way.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm going to get a ticket in the grocery store. Yeah, we got a side. We got you going down a one-way on a one-way.
That's right.
Wrong way on a one-way.
The grocery store
The old
police.
joke, you know, this is a one-way street.
Right.
I'm only going one way.
I'm only going one way. So how about touching germs?
Growing up, my parents didn't hold us. You know, my sister got a flat
You weren't
back of
held?
her head because she just laid in her crib the whole time. No,
They didn't roll her over?
They didn't roll her.
No touching.
We
Just
were a
look at the
no
touching.
touching family. It was like being in jail at my house. No touching. It was
Man,
like they throw the food on the table, eat. So no hugging and everything like that. And it's around my shows. That's like a big thing. Is that when people in comics would show up at the shows, they would come up and they'd give me a big hug because they knew I hated it.
I noticed that when I first met him, when I came up, reached out to him, and he kind of went Gary Coleman on me. He was like, no, don't
like Gary
touch me.
Coleman?
He was like, don't touch me.
As we've said, laughter is so important. And so we're going to continue with some laughs. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
NCTV 17's news team brings you coverage that is specific to Naperville, accurate and up to date on the latest developments in our community. In this unprecedented time, these stories keep us informed and inspired. These stories bring us together, even while standing apart. If you value your local nonprofit television station, please make a donation so NCTV 17 can continue its mission of telling local stories on air and online, now and in the critical months to come.
This episode of Dana Being Dana is brought to you in part by Bling Things. Let's bling your wardrobe to life. And by What to Wear Collective, helping women make the most of every opportunity, showing up with confidence, knowing what to wear.
Welcome back to the Laughter Show on Dana Being Dana. And I'm here once again with my friends Marz Timms and Ron Baker Jr.
Yes.
What has the pandemic taught you, or what are you grateful for during this time that we've had sheltering in place?
What am I grateful for? My health.
I'm still here.
I'm still here. I was like super sick before like the pandemic hit for like a whole month before leaving the country. And
Thailand.
Yeah, and it was just like, maybe I had it already.
You had pre-COVID.
Yeah, I had COVID-18, and then I left, and then COVID-19 hit the update, and I was just like, whoa, I didn't get to be added into the sequel. So, so I was like super, super sick. So I may have had it. People keep telling me to go get the test or whatever to see if I had it, the antibodies or whatever. So happy for my health.
Yeah.
I am so glad that divorce hit just before.
It's true, though.
Listen, you could have been quarantined with the wrong one.
With the wrong one. With the wrong one.
And couldn't get out.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm locked up.
That's true.
And can't get out.
Can't get out.
But come on, you better, I felt
Sheltering
the
in
quickening right
prison.
there. That release took place.
Yeah.
Where I was now able to quarantine with the one I want to.
There you go. That's
Or
important.
just by myself.
Do you have any advice for people who are dating during the COVID season?
No, I do not.
Speaking of Zoom calls, none?
Do you?
I don't. Not on dating during COVID.
That's got to be difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I have friends that talk about it and how difficult that is when they have someone that they love and honest, and they cherish.
And trying to meet somebody during COVID.
You can't.
Right.
I mean, I see things on the
Come
internet.
get this pandemic love.
Right. People like meet out in a park and they have to stand.
So they have their hands on a plexiglass window.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like jail, right?
It's like jail dating through that glass.
Yeah, this has always been like jail.
On a phone, you touch the glass.
Yeah, Lori Lightfoot is out patrolling. Mm-hmm.
You don't
out in
want
the
to catch
streets.
you. Yeah.
You don't want Lori to catch you.
Picking her hair.
Nope.
No, you don't want Lori
Just
to
in a
catch you.
suit.
Yes, her oversized sport jacket.
So for such a tiny person, she shops at like big and tall.
Let's see what Heyman Hawkins got. Let me get that neck in 18 and a half.
It's like a kid that's like an adult that got shrank while they were in their suit, and then they're just like, how is this fitting all weird?
I think during the pandemic, people have been exploring lots of different talents. People have come, I've talked to people who've said, hey, I want to get into music or I want to get into comedy. What's your favorite thing about being a comedian?
Well, that, like you were just saying, the ability to try different things. I have a lot of friends that were just doing stand-up comedy. They're like, I'm a stand-up comedian. This is all I want to do. But now they're trying to branch out into other things and, writing shows and or doing improv online, or like I'm making puppets. I've made puppets at home out of old socks. They're very dirty, ugly puppets with mismatched eyes and hair. I found some old wigs that I used for shows, and I cut those up and stuck them on these puppets. And these are going to be like a project sock puppet
That's
show.
how Mr. Rogers started.
Yes.
You could be like the 2020 Black Mr. Rogers.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Except not as nice. He was a very nice guy.
He was. Oh, yours are going to be a little.
Yeah, I have to have an
edgy.
edge. Yeah, I have to. I'm
You have
all
edgy
about
puppets.
Edgy
puppets.
You look at these puppets and
No Lady Marilyn.
no, Lady Janine or something like that. You see these
You got
puppets.
street walking hand
You
puppets.
immediately judge these puppets by how they look. You're like, ooh, that must be a mean, angry puppet. And the puppet can be as nice as possible,
Gentle.
but he just looks.
Never
dirty
judge a
and
book by its cover.
Never
judge a sock.
by the foot that
By
was
the
in
foot
it.
that was in it, that part.
I like that.
We got a show.
We got a show.
So we got a whole show. So let's talk
Do you
about.
have any little people puppets?
I do. They're kind of
I
like
digress.
baby booties.
Booties, like the little booties that
yeah,
you sew.
that you put on a baby.
You put on a baby. Yeah,
Baby
those
shoes,
those
baby socks.
Them
Baby
kind of
socks,
booties.
yeah.
Do you have any big booties?
Can we talk about.
Yeah, tall babies.
Speaking about babies and kids, homeschooling.
I don't have to do that. I'm so glad.
You were blessed. You were fortunate. Because
Yes,
for me,
my kids are grown.
for me, the fighting words was the homework for homeschool that required you to show your work. Showing your work were trigger words for people like me, who I'm not a teacher by profession, and so it was difficult. The new math. Are y'all familiar with the new math and the way that it's worked out?
I just do the old math.
I'm just bad at math.
Carry the one?
all
Yeah.
around. So, but I got lucky. My son is done well with the homeschooling.
Oh,
So-
don't you hate those kind of parents? You know, it just came to him.
He's a miracle.
He's just a miracle. You know, he just gets all A's.
He's
I don't really
fantastic.
spend that much time with his homework.
I don't do anything for
I don't do
homeschool.
anything.
He just logs on and
He wakes up, he
He's done it
starts
noon.
at the same time he would at regular school,
I
goes all
hate
day,
those parents.
well, isn't that lovely?
graduates with a 4.0
Don't you hate that? You
this
done put everything
Friday,
into your kid.
straight A's.
My kids can't do nothing right. Here's this, he ain't done nothing. They be like, yeah, he's going to Harvard.
By himself.
By himself.
At homeschool, in quarantine,
It's got nothing to do with me. I
In
was
his
a
room.
horrible student.
Man.
in his room.
Yeah, that's his
But you speak
mother's
so
side.
He's so well spoken.
That's a whole nother segment right there, but you speak so well.
I does.
Hello, Willie Wilson.
Vote for me.
And it actually said vote for me on when they had the billboards.
vote
And it said
for me.
B-O-T-E.
Vote for
F-A,
me.
me. It was actually spelled. When I watched them in the debates, they actually had like the little bouncing ball for the words.
Word.
Because you couldn't really understand
You had to
what
put the captions on with
That's
Willie
what I said.
Wilson.
What's in his heart? What's in his heart?
What's he
doesn't
trying
know.
to say?
Cholesterol's in his heart.
Yes, that I will get your kid out of jail. I will get Big
Can I
Mama
put
house
my feet on this
from
one?
taxes.
You want to put your feet on my couch?
I do. It's here.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you have an ottoman?
I think-
Shout out to Dion Cole. Why do you have an ottoman if you can't use the
I
ottoman?
think people have gotten really comfortable in quarantine, where they're sitting in the dining room. Why not, right? Because we're
Yeah.
here all the time. They're
doing all
using the
kinds of
good
stuff.
china,
We
doing all
call it
kinds
the
of
day room in my house.
The day room?
Right, if you ever been to jail.
What's in the
now.
day room?
Just a table, a steel table with some chairs.
But you normally don't sit there?
Right, so I'm using the towels that say that are just decoration. I'm using those towels. I'm just leaving plates laying around.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just, how long can I wear these drawers? I want to know. What's the max?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think there's been a ton of laundry. I feel like my kids eat through the entire house. I've said to them, you need to
Yes.
bring your school stomachs
No such
to
thing.
the day.
No such thing.
School, oh, it is.
And the
'Cause when they-
hours are different in terms of staying up. So when people,
This is true.
Like we're not.
Their bedtimes are different.
I could be up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
I am.
Go to bed at 5:15,
Right.
and then everybody wants to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is all of this racket? At
Trying to
8
get my
in the
good
morning?
sleep.
Let's see. My son goes to bed
Yeah,
at
I'm sure.
10 p.m., but the kids upstairs, they're up all night long.
Are
They
they
got
tap dancing?
stand-up comedian hours.
Are they tap dancing like the Geico commercial?
Yeah, they up there. It's like they clogging and everything up and down the back steps. It's like, ah! I'm like, these kids are not social distancing up
Do
there.
they have pets like dogs?
Yeah, and they have a dog. It's like 4 kids and a dog in a 2-bedroom.
It's a
What's
lot
going
going on
up there?
It's a lot going on.
Welcome to our world. Next question.
I'm in the mood for mild sauce.
I like hot mild mix
Ooh, yeah.
with a little lemon pepper,
Ooh, look at you.
jalapeno on the side.
Okay.
Are we
I
talking
want it
about?
on the fries and the chicken.
We're talking about chicken.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
We're always talking about chicken.
Talking about chicken.
Sauce on. Do you get it on it or do you get it
Or
on the side? Yeah.
Now, I come from the area of I want it on the chicken and the fries. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to be with my light counterparts,
Okay.
put it on the side.
Yeah.
And I'll apply it sparingly.
Yes. Yeah. Then you can dip
Dip
it
it.
in however you want to do it, and it's a classier.
It's right.
look.
It's classier.
Classier look. Yes.
And y'all are so classy.
Yeah,
With the hats and the glasses.
around the friends.
It's super classy.
Oh,
I want my white bread soggy.
soggy, sopping wet.
Yeah, I'm just egging
Yes.
it all out.
I want it to tear apart by itself.
Yes.
That's what she said.
Yes, and then I.
This is a PG show.
I think you can say that. I hope it's okay.
This is a hot show. We're killing them. And during the pandemic, who knows? There's a riot going on right outside of the studio right now.
Well, we're in here
They're
laughing.
tearing Naperville up, and we in here laughing.
having a good time.
The mayor's like, stop.
There's a comedy show going on.
So, what advice would you want to give other people who are interested in being a comedian one day?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Stay in school,
Stay
get
in
your
school.
education, listen to your parents, get that law degree. become
Math
a
and science is the
doctor.
way to go.
The law degree? Really?
Yeah, man, this
Go
is a
down.
hustle. This is a tough gig.
It's a
You
grind.
guys do it so
It's a
well.
grind.
You make it look so good.
Well, it's the gift that's in us.
Yeah.
But the fire is hard to put out. But it's very, very tough to maneuver. I mean, this pandemic has caused us to try to do other things. I mean, I act as well. Now we do self-tape auditions.
Yeah.
So I bought equipment. You know, I've had to buy softbox lighting. I bought backgrounds. I bought
Softbox light, does that bring out your eyes?
Yes, and then I actually have, you know, an aperture light just to give that a little bit more of a filter of a.
You're a pretty boy.
Listen,
boy
right.
over here.
Pretty Ricky.
Right, right. You know, I'm
doing
looking.
Barbizon at
Yes, I actually got powder I put on, you know. Because now everything is virtual.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to pivot. That's the little buzzword they're using now.
Pivot, bob and move, be flexible.
Accordingly, yes.
Yeah.
And be flexible and find another avenue, you know. And,
I don't have the soft box lighting. All my self tapes look like a horror movie. That lone light just swinging back and forth, and I'm just like, yes, come on down to Popeye's Chicken, where all the things taste good. And it's like your self tape was just a little creepy, and then I light my self light from down here like campfire style. It's like Louisiana fast, love that chicken, Popeyes.
not the Vincent Price of
Matchbox cars for all the kids.
Well, it has been a whole lot of conversation about chicken. That I hope, who knew, right?
Who's hungry?
That I hope people have been laughing under their face masks and enjoying themselves.
And under this racism.
Yes. Thank you both so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome and hilarious, and I hope people check you out.
Thank you, Dana.
Both remotely on your Zoom comedy shows and in person when we are back out there. Laughter is therapeutic. Laughter is cathartic. Laughter is healing. There are so many things in our world that can keep us from laughing and that can steal our joy. Indeed, so many aspects of life are not a laughing matter. However, I hope that even in hard times, in the midst of despair, you are still able to find beauty in the world and the things that make you smile. I still believe in the good in others, and I am passionate about love and laughter conquering all. Thank you to all of the frontline and essential workers, teachers, volunteers, good people, kind neighbors, and those who have shown up for others. Thank you to my guests for the laughs. Hopefully you have been entertained, if not encouraged or inspired. I do not promise to be an expert, nor do I have all the answers. I'm just Dana, being Dana. See you next time.